Welcome to our long-awaited brand new series where I take a look at builds you guys request. This first episode begins with the infamous leader of the Autobots, Optimus Prime. First appearing as a Diaclone toy in Japan released in 1983, Hasbro imported the design to become the heroic Autobot leader of a brand new Transformers TV show. Albeit it was an elaborate toy commercial, the charismatic, caring Autobot captivated the souls of fans around the world. This character of Optimus Prime would go on to become the most recognizable asset of the Transformers. And as a fan of the franchise, I wanted to create the cast of the first season of Transformers Generation 1 out of Lego. Beginning with Optimus Prime followed a near month-long development of a 4-stud wide frame, meaning that this was the scale I needed to stick with if I wanted a cohesive collection. With not many pictures to show the progress over this development stage, I won't make this long. All I knew was I wanted the best version of G1 Optimus Prime. I was aware that other creators on many platforms had made their own versions, but I wasn't particularly fond because they all either were too large for me to build or too small for me to incorporate design elements of larger toys. I originally intended for the build to model Magic Square's MS-01 Optimus Prime, and for future reference, I was not yet aware that MS-02 existed. While incorporating design elements of MS-01, I was able to prioritize articulation and make both modes as best I could with the pieces I had. As time went on, I was less and less satisfied with the build, especially after the release of the video. Some issues began annoying me, like the forearm kibble that filled in the steps behind the front wheels. The gap between the gray rib section and the grill abs really annoyed me. The uncovered head on the top of the truck, and most notably, the lack of bulk he had on his back. Although the shoulders and waist section gave him proper front-facing dominance, I really wasn't a fan of how hollow he felt in hand, not to mention the lack of clutch power in his arms that had a difficult time holding up his ion blaster in dynamic poses. Although I was happy with the articulation and scale I built him at, I was beginning to dislike the proportions. The torso was too tall, the shoulders were way too wide, and his front chest window stuck out. But this was the best Optimus Prime I had built, and there is no way I could make something significantly better. Enter part 3386. As my internet research grew and my satisfaction of version 1 diminishing, I found part 3386. If you are not aware, this is the latest and greatest LEGO Transformer joint, offering incredible versatility as a snot brick and leaving the option for a rotation, as this piece is a rounded 2-plate tall element. This is the part that gave me the inspiration to improve the shoulders, making them closer to the body. My second change was the torso. The original bumper was quite broken up and had different colors, but I needed to make it completely white to match the art I was going off of. I tried my best to simplify the MS-02 torso transformation. This new torso method added a bit of complexity as there were many rotations needed to move the bumper from the front of the truck to the rear of the torso.
I originally used a 1x1 snot brick for the gray stripe with a 1x1 plate at the bottom.
Is the contraption I originally used. It's a little more solid, but the anti-stud is very distracting. After some consultation with student Scissors, he suggested I use a 1x1 with bar and a bracket to remove the anti-stud. Albeit this solution was slightly weaker, it greatly increased the look on the front side. This one's the one that student Scissors gave me. It's a lot better, there's no anti-stud on the front, and it's overall a little cleaner. My next improvement was changing the 1x2 tiles as the windshield and replacing them with the 1x2 brick, making the chest much stronger and more aesthetically pleasing. I also had a few issues involving the concealment of the head. If you recall, my version 1 lacked any head coverage or meaningful transformation to hide the head. After a long night full of revisions and caveats, I was able to come up with a fair enough solution that filled in the top of the truck. The head was still visible at the rear of the truck, but it at least made the majority of the cab much more streamlined. Additionally, I reduced the bulk on the cabs to make the truck sit lower on the ground. Because of this change, I needed to rework the attachment that connected the two legs in vehicle mode. I changed the clip bar method out with a simple single stud connection that rotates into the leg for transformation. Here I have a picture of version 1 Nemesis standing next to version 2 Optimus. Here it is quite clear as to what I changed, but you may notice that the head is a bit wider and shorter. This was a temporary change as it didn't operate at all in truck mode because of the width. For the trailer, I only had to lower the wheels to accommodate for the lower sitting truck. As for the stripe, I wanted it to be as accurate as possible, which meant adding a few slopes. So I ended up changing part of the trailer quite a bit. I swapped around how the studs were facing, so now it's completely smooth on top, and I just did that with some pins. And then to show you guys, I used some slopes to try and get the iconic stripe where it curves upwards. And I used this really old slope piece in gray, not light bluish gray, which I don't know if it comes in that. I wish it did, because that'd be pretty cool. But, I mean, you can kind of see the faded color. But overall, definitely an improvement. As a last minute addition, I also added the headlights on the back of the forearms to fill out the larger gap on the front side of the cab. I also changed the yellow 1x1 tile on the waist to a bright light orange tile because it matched the color scheme slightly better. Another addition was a Megatron arm. If you were unaware, there has been a brand new trending Transformers comic run, and many are captivated by its darker take on the franchise. Allegedly, there is a point in time where Optimus Prime ends up with Megatron's arm along with a fusion cannon. Since I wanted to replicate the look, because I thought it was pretty cool looking, I built an arm in Megatron colors with the same pieces as the Prime arm, thus making the arm compatible during transformation. As the story of the legendary Autobot commander continues through multiple different timelines, iterations, and imaginations, I wanted to honor this character with a true effort, and I'm happy to say that this will be my definitive LEGO Transformers G1 Optimus Prime. Anyways, that's the story of how I built Optimus, and if you guys have any suggestions to make the video format any better, or you guys would like to request the next retrospective episode, please comment down below. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.